Yes, Bruce, segment, fire away.
Alrighty, coming from our guy Andy, he says, "Hey Bruce, aside from being on the call for Len Barker's perfect game, were there any other rare feats you witnessed in person at a sporting event?" He said this can include your Cubs fandom as a kid.
Um, I saw the All-Star game in Chicago. I think it was 1962. It was when the major leagues were actually stupid idea back then. And Selig or Manfred weren't even the commissioner then. But they had two All-Star games every year for like 4 years in a row. It was ridiculous. But one of those two was in Chicago at Wrigley Field, and my dad was able to get tickets, and we went, and that was a thrill of a lifetime. I really enjoyed that. Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron, Ernie Banks, all the greats. Roger Maris. It was truly, truly a thrill. I remember as a kid, before the Milwaukee Braves moved to Atlanta, the Cubs stunk. They were a last place team. But they did have one tremendously gifted player in Ernie Banks. And even though opposing pitchers tried to pitch around him, he still was a home run leader. He won back-to-back MVPs in the 50s. And I remember seeing the Milwaukee Braves come to Wrigley Field, and Aaron, would hit a home run, and Ernie Banks would get two in the game, and Joe Adcock would hit one for Milwaukee, and Bruton would hit one for Milwaukee, and Eddie Matthews would hit one for Milwaukee, and the Cubs would lose 11-9. So those were some of the fond memories of hitter-friendly Wrigley Field. But, when the Indians played the Cubs in the World Series, me originally being from Chicago, I was asked a lot, well, do you have you have mixed emotions about that? And I said, absolutely not, for many reasons. 1969, the Cubs broke my heart anyway when they blew the pennant to the New York Mets, the Miracle Mets of Tom Seaver and company. And, being in broadcasting, I was ready, willing, and able to relocate anywhere in the country. So I came here to Cleveland in the spring of '78, and a couple of years later, I got the job to team with the great Joe Tate to do the Indians games on television. So, I, like that, became an Indians fan, a Cleveland fan. Love you, Cleveland. You know my expression over all these decades. But I will say this. To my grave, I will have a love affair with Wrigley Field. To me, it's the best sports venue in all of sports. Take that, Red Sox fans.